Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to the channel. Every now and then I like to talk about a riff or a song, mainly like a riff in a song that I really like, something that got me really inspired when I started learning. I also really like finding out, much to my surprise, that I've been playing certain riffs wrong on further inspection after like how many years of playing. I'm like, God, how long have I been playing now? Like 14 years or 13 years or something like that. So this one we're looking at is the Master of Puppets pre-chorus. And just when you thought there was nothing left to break down with Metallica, there's so many videos online, like Andrei Vasilenko and stuff like that, who really break riffs down. Matt the Riff Master, my good friend Matt, who, does similar sorts of videos. I think he did one on like Whiplash, where there was like a certain pull-off note or something like that to get the riff right. And just when you thought there was nothing left to discover, because there's a lot of good stuff out there on how to like nail those tricky Metallica riffs, I've stumbled across something that I didn't know about until recently. And maybe you guys know about it. Let me know below if this is just like common knowledge to you guys. There was a couple of things with this riff that I actually didn't know about, actually. And I'm going to start with right at the bottom from when I first heard this song. So Master of Puppets is the first song that I heard by Metallica that wasn't from the Black album. That was the first album. I'm sure a lot of you guys were similar to me. It was like the first album I heard by them. First track was Sad But True. Done a whole video on that riff if you're interested. That's the one that got me rolling. That whole album just turned everything round for me. And then when I thought to myself, right, I should probably start listening to the other stuff, because I didn't have the internet back then, so I couldn't just go, what are the other Metallica albums, and listen to it. I had to like use internet at a friend's house or in school and stuff like that. So I got on the internet somewhere, and the first song I came across was Master of Puppets. I knew that was a big one anyway. I knew that was a famous one because I just heard the name floating around. I put it on and I downloaded it and I put it on my MP3 player and I listened to it, and it absolutely floored me just as much as the stuff on the Black album did, right? And the one thing that roped me in was the pre-chorus, that really, really cool riff. And it's the way James's vocals are sort of like going over it, and they kind of make you feel like you're like falling or something. I can't explain it, just the way the vocals are coming in and out. It was just a huge effect on me. And above all, the riff itself was just really, really cool. And that made it to my favorite riffs video that I did ages ago now. So what happened is I went down the whole rabbit hole of trying to get tabs for it, and the tabs were, well, I didn't know any better, but they were wrong. Okay, I think one of them was like yeah, you had to go down here. And yeah, I just knew it was wrong. I could see them playing, and they weren't going anywhere near that end of the neck. I knew they were keeping it all in this sort of area here. And that's sort of a good thing in a way, because it trained my ear. A lot of the lessons that I do and stuff like that, I don't use tabs. I struggle with numbers, okay? That's no big secret. And tabs, as much as sometimes I kind of like have to use them, I'd rather use my ear, because a lot of the times when you use your ear, you're just a lot better off trying to work things out and getting acquainted with the bands that you like. You'll have a bit of know-how on the chords, the notes they go for and stuff like that, the scales they use. So between the familiarity with the band and then training your ear is the best tool that you have for working songs out. I'm not the only one to have said that. So yeah, it was all good sort of practice for me to go, right, okay, well, this is wrong, obviously. How's it go? So I worked out over the years what I thought to be right with the riff, and I'll play it for you. Star. Okay. So there's that, right? And that's what I worked out, and I played it like that for many, 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 many years. And, you know, it's like, yeah, jobs are good and I can play that. And just recently, I saw something. I don't know if it was in the concert or just me working out thinking, you know what, that just doesn't sound right. It didn't sound quite as monstrous. And there's one little thing, and I'm going to play through how I've been playing it, and then I'm going to play through how it's actually played and see if you notice the difference. Okay, so that's how I've been playing it. And then here's how it's actually played. See if you can spot the difference. Did you see it? Okay, let's have a look again. It's that. Now, I've seen it played the way I've been playing it quite a few times online and stuff like that. And I've always been going after the licky thing here. I've always been going straight to the C5 chord here. So you've got 8 and 10, okay, on the 6th string. I've always been doing it that way. And that's wrong. What he's actually doing is he goes straight to the B5 right there, which is 7 and 9. Okay, so first finger 7 on the 6th string, and pinky, 3rd finger, whichever one you prefer for your power chords, over on 9th fret, 5th string. Okay, so you've got... And just learning that and playing it and figuring that out recently, it's kind of just like opened the riff back up for me of just like how cool it is. Like, how monstrous does that sound? Just that progression as a whole. That's so heavy. Yeah, obviously he's going off of the harmonic minor idea here, which is your 6th fret. Okay, so that's going to give it a really sort of evil sort of tone anyway. But going off of the B right here, that chord in this key, which is E minor, I guess, always builds tension, and it does. It really gives that extra bit of tension. And I think it's so cool that it's like it modulates, it changes, because then after that, when it comes back around again, rather than going back to the B, he goes up to the C that I've been doing, which is your 8th and 10th fret, right? So there it is. So there you go, myth debunked. So all these years I've been playing that riff completely wrong. So here it is how it's actually played now with that chord. Okay, so there's that. So in case any of you didn't know about that, there it is. If you go watch live performances and stuff like that, that's the best. As well as using your ear, that's the best source of like information, if you like, or the best source for like doing that sort of detective work when you're trying to figure out how a riff goes. A really, really, really good one, and I don't know the name of it, but if you type in Master of Puppets Live, there's like old footage where the camera is literally just on James for the entire time, and it's kind of around that Master of Puppets tour sort of time, and the camera is on James right the way through, and you can see it in a lot of concerts when the camera sits on him for that time, but that one, because it's on James for quite a lot of time, you can see that he's going to that B5 right there. I just think that's such a cool sound, you know. Maybe this, like I said, that to you guys, you're just like, yeah, no shit, I knew about this, you know. You're supposed to be good at this. You're supposed to be good at guitar and playing these things and these lessons 100% correct and stuff like that, which they're not. I guarantee you that. I'll be wrong in certain places. And this is just an example of that. And I love how after listening to a band for so long, I'm still discovering things about them. And that's what keeps it new and fresh for me. So yeah, so I absolutely love that riff. So it's one of my favorite riffs ever. However, we're not done. There's another problem we've got, and it's the notes in between, to quote Kirk Hammett, right? It's this. Okay? I thought to myself, if I'm going to do this lesson on kind of like, here's how you play the riff properly, I thought to myself, I better make sure I'm 100% on everything else, right? So I just started taking everything, making sure the chords were right, discovering that B5 chord was in there, and then I thought, right, let's have a look at those notes that happen in between. And I'm playing that wrong, right? So far, technically, I've played the riff wrong, but I've also been playing it right. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, okay? This riff was actually written by Kirk Hammett, okay? And you can hear it on the Master of Puppets riff tapes. If you go on YouTube, type it in. Kirk's riff idea is there. And it sounded a lot different. It was like a... something like that. I'm absolutely butchering it there. But that was his really rough sort of idea. It was a lot more like noodly. So I'm absolutely butchering it there. But you can see the idea. The datum line that he had was this E to D kind of thing going on. Yeah, and he knew that he wanted notes happening after that. He knew he wanted something. And I think it's really cool that he took that riff in and the guys, maybe James or Cliff, saw it and thought, yeah, that's really cool, but let's make it a little bit less noodling and make it a little bit more sort of, I don't know, consistent and structured for like a song part. So I think it's really cool how Kirk's wrote one end of the riff going, and maybe James has come along and gone, yeah, but then what if you go, rather than more notes, you could go, yeah? Which is like notes that he's playing at times, those root notes within the demo, but James is like saying, well, why don't we play those as chords? They're going to sound absolutely huge over vocals and stuff like that. So I love how we can kind of like speculate on that and you know, like think about how they actually came up with the final result and the collaboration and stuff like that. So it's these notes here that were the problem spot for me. And that's how I've been playing it for all these years. I'm going, okay, I'm going 7 on the 5th string, I'm going 7, 9 on the 5th string, then I'm dropping my 3rd finger flat, I'm catching 9 on the 4th string, back again to 9th fret on the 5th, and then I've got that sort of hammer into 10 going on, so... Okay, and that's what I thought it was for many years. But then, this week, just breaking the riff down and taking another look at it, I think, on the demo, Kirk plays it this way. Now, did you see the difference there? I play it the first way. Okay, and then the way I saw Kirk doing it, or heard... Very difficult to tell what's going on with like the palm mutant and stuff like that. And for the sake of one note that's so close by, but Kirk seems to be going to the 10th fret there. And why do I say that? Well, I watched the Howard Stern show, the interview, where they went into his studio and they played Master of Puppets, right? And I thought, right, let's see what's going on. So what happens actually is those guys, they move up. I'm doing it with all my fingers here. I'm doing it with my 3rd and my pinky. But the guys move up. You'll see James doing it. So they'll move up. They'll go. Okay? And you'll see both of them doing that. But I watched James doing it, and he was doing it my way. Apart from the moving up. It's the same thing. I'm just using different fingers. And James also does a trill. Okay? But I'm going to roll some footage for you now. And I want you to watch closely James's and Kirk's guitars. Okay, so we'll roll it once up to speed, just so you can get it in context. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down. Watch James's guitar. And then I'm going to play it again and watch Kirk's guitar. Okay? I will run to you. Now will you say? So as you can see here, James is clearly doing what I've been doing. So he's starting off with his first finger and he's moving up. So he's going from 7th and he's dropping his first finger flat. And then he's catching the 2 9s, right? 9 on the 4th string, 9 on the 3rd string. And then he moves up. Don't worry about the trill. That's artistic freedom. That's not in the track. But, you know, the way he's doing that note there before the trill, okay, is definitely a 9th fret, okay? Now watch Kirk's. Kirk is moving up, and when he goes back to what would be that 9th note, he's doing 10th fret with his middle finger, and then he's doing the hammer on. So now, if you can, watch them together. You'll see they've both got their fingers in completely different spots on the neck. Now, you may be saying, okay, well, maybe that's a little bit of a fluke. Let's try another spot in the video. This one's a little bit more tricky to see because the Howard Stern logo is over Kirk, but if you watch really, really closely, you'll see again, James is playing 9th fret at that point, and Kirk is playing 10th fret just before the 9-10 hammer on. Now I'm killing you! So there you go, guys. It's up to you, whichever one you want to play. After all these years of going, or with my fingers, I guess I'm going, that's most comfortable for me. Kirk wrote this one, and it pretty much sounds on the demo. I slowed the track down, and as a matter of fact, I slowed the isolated guitar tracks down, and it actually does, to my ears, sound like 10th fret, like he's going right there. And then he's doing the hammer on. Yeah? And because Kirk wrote that, I'm going to guess that he's going to play it the same way he's always played that, because that little lick or run there is actually in the demo. They kept that. So I'm going to say that Kirk's way of playing that is right, and James is, I don't know, he's playing it his way. Maybe that's on the track, I'm not sure, but when I listen to the track on its own, it's really, really hard to tell, because for the sake of one note that is so close to one another, sometimes it'll stick out like a sore thumb, but these two notes, they're in key, it doesn't sound wrong, so for the sake of one note, you know, it's nothing to get too worked up about, I guess. But, you know, we're perfectionists, right? And we love breaking these riffs down, and we love learning how they actually go. So, yeah, so I'm going to say Kirk's way is right. So far, I'm going to say the riff actually goes like this. Yeah? Or if I want to play it their way. So I'm going 7. And when I go up and do those, drop my first finger flat and do those 2 9s, my first finger is going to catch 10 here. And then it's going to do the hammer on from 9 to 10. So it's... Yeah? So, go figure. I think that's going to be right. So far with the riff, we've got this. Okay, so there you go. So there's the riff. badass riff, right? And I think that's pretty much how it's played now. There's one last thing that I wanted to cover for you guys, just in case you didn't know about it. It's the harmony notes at the end that sort of like lead into the master chords. It's these. Okay. I did some deciphering of listening to the isolated guitar tracks, and this is what I came out with. I preferred to do it this way rather than looking at the tabs again, just so I didn't have any sort of preconceived ideas, right? So what I tracked to be, I guess, the main sort of guitar, James's guitar, I guess, he's going... Okay, so that's 9, 7, 6, down into harmonic minor. Okay, 6th fret, that's all on the 5th string. Then he picks 6 again, and then on the 6th string he goes 8, then 7. Okay, so it's... Okay, and then the other thing you want to know about is the harmony, right? What is correct there? And I worked it out to be this. Okay, so that could be Kirk's guitar. It looks kind of like they play the same sort of riff running down in the Howard Stern show. I'm not sure. Kirk kind of looks like he plays the same sort of thing as James, and I'm not too sure. But on the track, anyway, just to be correct here for the track, what seems to be happening is so you've got 7th fret, 4th string, and then you're gonna go on the 5th string, 10, then 9. Okay, that's the first run of it. Then you're going to pick 9 again, and you're going to go 7, 6. Okay? Okay, and that gives you this sound. Okay, very sort of classical, evil sort of sounding. You know, they were really inspired by like classical music at that time, especially with Cliff. So chances are that Cliff was a massive help in working that harmonies out. The band have not been shy about, you know, saying Cliff worked all that stuff out for us, you know. When they had a writing session for Whom the Bell Tolls, when they were recording it, was it in Sweden when they were recording it? I'm not sure. Correct me on that one. I think it's Sweden. Is it Sweden or Denmark where Lars is from? Either one. Cliff was back home, and you know the harmony part, right? That thing, and there's harmony guitars that come over that. They were absolutely screwed. They did not know what to do because Cliff would work all that out for them. So they had to spend like ages like getting a pen and paper out trying to work out the harmonies. So Cliff did a lot there, and he was heavily influenced by classical music, as you all probably know, because you're just as bigger Metallica fans and obsessives as I am, right? And yeah, so chances are Cliff probably helped work that one out. What I've done for you, just to sort of, it was all very well and good me showing you like it as dyads there, you know, like. What I've done for you is I've done a little Cubase session where I've got each guitar on its own. So you've got the lower one, and then you've got the higher one. And then what I've done is I've put them both together. If you compare that to the actual track, to me, it sounds right to my ears. So I'll see you back here in a second. Okay, guys, so what I've got here basically is isolated guitar parts. I've recorded them myself. I've got the lower bunch of notes that happen before going into the chorus, and I've got what I believe to be the higher bunch of notes going into the chorus just at the end of that pre-chorus section. I'm going to play them each on their own, and then you'll hear them together, and you'll see how they complement each other as a harmony. So yeah, to my ears, that pretty much sounds right. So back to the video now. So there you go, guys. There's those harmonies for you. In case you ever wanted to know about those, they're what I've worked out. They sound right to my ears anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I just wanted to come on and just chat about a really badass riff by the guys that, again, sort of changed it all for me. Coming out of the Black album, getting into all their other stuff, you know. It was as huge for me as I'm sure it was for a lot of you guys coming across these songs for the first time. But it's very cool how we can still pick apart these songs and come across stuff that, you know, we didn't know about, and it just kind of changes your perspective on it. And then it's really cool how they've got all like the demos available, so we can go back, listen to how things were originally mapped out, and then compare them to what's on the album, and then watch how they play it live these days, and then come across a situation where James and Kirk are playing two completely different things. Not a harmony riff. It's not a harmony riff at all. Yeah, it's just one note that's different. And yeah, so it's up to you on that one. But the one thing I would watch out for if you're looking to play this riff right, it's make sure that after you've done that lick, you're going to this B5 right here, and then you go to your C. And you can just hear the tension that builds. Yeah. So here's the riff once more for you all, because it's just so damn good. Okay, and there I was playing it James's way, the way he plays it in the live performance, because that is literally muscle memory for me at this point. I suppose if I did a cover of this song, if my right hand can ever get up to speed for that because it's an absolute monster, I suppose I would try and do it the proper way that it seems to be with the 10, 9, then the 9, 10 hammer on. So there you go, guys. There's the Master of Puppets pre-chorus riff, what I believe to be played the correct way. So I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you found it useful. And let me know of any other riffs that you think that I should like investigate, break down. I'll try and have a think, because like the more and more I do covers and stuff like that, the more and more I'm coming across things that I've been playing wrong, you know, and I love to come on here and share it with you all. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Just one quick word about the tone I'm using. As always, I like to give credit to the DMO Metal Guitar channel. This is a Master of Puppets tone match. If you've been wondering about why this sounds close to Master of Puppets, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But yeah, this is a tone match that he made. If you go over to his channel, I'll leave a little link at the bottom. He does tone matches on like all our favorite albums, like Ozzy Osbourne, Alice in Chains, Metallica, all that good stuff. And he puts them up on Bias Effects and shares them for free for us to enjoy. I've used his tones for like the Ride the Lightning stuff. My Ride the Lightning tone is very, very close on those covers, because it's not mine, it's his. He made it. So go and check his channel out, give him a subscribe, because his work is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, if you want to download this tone, or like any of this other really, really close Metallica stuff, it's all there on Bias Effects. So once again, guys, let me know your favorite riffs, what turned everything round for you guys, down in the comments below. Riffs that you've recently figured out that you've been playing wrong for all these years, yeah, and let me know how you found out that you were playing it wrong, and what you did differently to make it right. And yeah, let's just chat down below. I love chatting with you guys. Huge welcome again to everybody who's new. Thank you again for I think we're at 420 subscribers right now. That's incredible. Something I never thought was going to happen. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and even subscribe if you're new here. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, be well, and I'll see you guys really soon. Take care.